Hi, welcome to the
Little
show.
Razzie cat. Whoops. Sorry. Rewind that. Just start over.
Razzie
With what?
Cat.
The Razzie Cat or the intro to the show?
Razzie
The
Cat.
intro to the show. The
No,
Razzie
welcome.
cat was just for you guys.
Welcome to the show. Razzie Cats, cats of all denominations, I guess. Brandon Lynch, you're here. Tell us about the Razzie Cat.
Well, it's very sour, as is my taste these days. Alley Cat, the local brewery, has gone to a only cans delivery method, which I'm not super into. I'm a big bottle guy.
They don't do.
So I might have to.
I could have sworn. Oh no, I saw some
They did.
Granville. I think in
They did.
bottles.
And we're also they're in the middle of. If you go to a liquor store right now, they will have half bottles and half cans as they phase out the bottles. They're right in the middle of it.
Like for a permanent, they're never doing bottles again,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Oh,
Well,
jeez.
Never's a long time, but as of now, they're making all their packaging cans.
As someone who's never done growlers, do they still have growlers? Can you still get growlers in
You can still
these
get
end
growlers,
times?
yeah.
I think
Yes,
growler's like
I
something
believe
you
so. I
get
think you have
refilled,
to-
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like you would think that.
and there's only certain places you can get them in the city, and those places are generally like call ahead and tell us what you want, and we'll book you a slot to get it, so you're not lining up at the growler fountain. as I
At
assume they
exactly
call it.
2:27 p.m. today, Eads, you are allowed to go and get a raspberry growler.
That's right, Kevin Byer. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Talking Reckless 318, podcast about video games. What is the and beer? What is the bouquet? Give us a little like flavor profile maybe of the Razzie. You know, I got a new
It's,
beer here as well.
It smells like raspberry flavored things, which is
Good.
not to say like raspberry. It's. I feel
Kind
like
of like
when you're smelling out of a
raspberry cough
can,
medicine.
Yeah, it's very.
nothing smells good out of a can. I feel
It
like.
smells like mango. So I cracked this mango beer and immediately could smell mangoes. This is the Belgian Moon Mango Wheat. Apparently, I'm gonna go in here for.
And this goes hand in hand with the like high percentage of your taste that comes from smell. But when I was on an Alexander Keith's brewery tour, a Sam Adams brewery tour in Boston, they said that beer tastes so much better out of a glass just because your nose is getting right in there with it.
It's like wine, like as you inhale part of the taste. Yeah.
Yeah.
This Belgian Moon mango is okay. I don't know. It literally tastes like someone just dumped mango into a Belgian Moon mango puree. Yeah, I'm reading the ingredients here. It's okay. I don't know. It was a panic buy. We were talking about this a little earlier, but maybe made it on the show. I don't know where we'll cut in. I heard someone else in the beer cooler coughed, and I was like, I gotta go. Grab whatever's on the shelf and just ran. Just ran. Didn't even stop to pay. Here we are now.
I feel like I've gotten a little bit desensitized to it a little bit. Me, myself, still very careful, but I've become a little desensitized to all the not caution around me because I work outside every day for a living.
Yeah, it's very, very not caution. I'm not going to get into it because, nobody needs to be reminded of the, what do they keep to the unprecedented times that we live in. But, I had a little
The
altercation
ongoing
myself
pandemic.
today. Yeah. Follow me on Twitter if you want to know why I might have to leave this show halfway through and go talk to the police. It was because of the beer I stole. That's right. I already admitted to that earlier on the show. Shit.
I didn't know if we were supposed to bring that up.
No, it's real talk. Might have to like step out. Might have to cut this podcast a little short because some shit went down. Find that on Twitter. Everybody's fine. Nobody got hurt. Only feelings.
Yet.
And yes, maybe future harm. How's everybody's week's been besides that?
Better than yours.
So it wasn't all bad. I got a new TV. New TV's here. Showed up.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I put a picture on our Discord. The panel is, I am not exaggerating at all, a 1/16 of an inch thick. It is so thin. It is like, if you tap one side of the panel, you can see the wave go through the entire screen. It is so thin, and I've never been so afraid to move. Yes, I've never been
Yes.
so afraid to move anything in my entire life of like, where do you even touch it? How do you lift this thing? But I got it up, got it set up. It is an OLED screen. It has HDR and it's 4K, and I'm ready for the next gen now. Calibrating TVs. I had like a real like old man technology moment where calibrating TVs is this whole. I spent like 4 or 5 hours. Well, first I spent like 2 hours updating it. You have to update. TV connects to the internet. Has to download all of these updates now. Excuse me. Has a bunch of different like apps on it that all have to update. So do the update standard. Buy new hardware. And then there's all these settings for. So the TV kind of like kicks into 2 modes. When HDR stuff is on, it has a whole separate set of video settings. If you like, I want my contrast, whatever. I want to look different with this stuff. You can. Did not realize that at all. So when everything's set it up, there's like, and none of these are all like up to preference. So it's like there's like a thing for the brightness called dynamic contrast or something, and that affects the brightness. And there's dynamic color, and there's like about 50 different. Well, not 50. There's I can think of like 7 or 8 of these different. They're just called dynamic something, and they have like off, low, medium, high, and they're all these like weird kind of post-processing things they do. But it's all up to preference. So to set these things just the way I want them, and because everything looks weird, right? New TV, I'm in 4K now. It's way better contrast and things. New panels. You have to like, or I guess you don't have to. The way I was doing it, because I'm a maniac, is like set one setting. All right, we're doing dynamic contrast. Set that to low, or like set everything else set. Dynamic contrast low. Okay, how does this look? Okay, now I need to rewatch the same thing with it off to see if I notice a difference. Okay, now I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna like flip between them to see if I can notice. Okay, yeah, now I can see it. Now I'm gonna try it high. Okay, now I'm gonna go change this other setting, and that throws all the colors and everything out of bounds. And I gotta go back and check dynamic contrast again and see what it looks like on low, and like. Really spent, I'm not exaggerating, like close to 4 hours just sitting there watching the same 4 minutes of a show on Prime Video, just trying to get this set, just so, and got it.
Be a better way.
Got it set, got it perfect. Love how it looks. Like, all right, great. Let's watch an episode of something. Let's see how this bad boy looks. And realized I was on the Xbox One, which does not have 4K support. Or like obviously it doesn't have 4K support. It also doesn't have HDR support. And I was like, oh shit. Okay, I gotta plug in the PS4 does have HDR support. Plug in the PS4. As soon as you plug in the PS4, it's like HDR mode detected. All the settings whoosh just wipe themselves and like reset to their defaults. I'm like, okay, I know what I like now. We gotta do this again. Going in there. It was a lot of fun. I don't know. I really like it, and I'm still not sure. Like I'm gonna keep changing settings for a bit. I'm going through the motion smoothing thing again, where because I had it on my old TV and all the new TVs come with it, and everyone's like, turn it off, it looks terrible, but I turn it off and like I just see judder now, and I can't go back, and so I'm trying to convince myself that it looks fine and I should leave it on, or should I turn it off and get used to it, and it's a whole to do.
I hate it. I remember it made me physically ill watching it on your TV that one time, though I was also drunk and high.
Yes, and we were watching a bad season of The Walking Dead, so I mean,
yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. I really like playing around with it. The difference is like night and day. It is stunning. It's like a hard thing to describe, but when the TV is showing black now, you can't tell if it's on or off, which is amazing. So if you're like Gravity is a great example, where anything where there's like really really deep black colors like space. And contrasting whites to compare it to, like spacesuits, it looks really good. Like the bright stuff looks very bright, the dark stuff looks very dark. You don't lose the detail between. It looks really good. Looks really good.
So I really want a new TV. It makes me jealous whenever you talk about this.
Yeah, these ones are like $1,000 off right now. And these are the OLEDs that OJ and I have been watching for years.
We gotta be close to the next thing, eh?
Yeah.
Like the thing that's really going to take down the OLED price.
Yeah, I don't know. Like this was only. I don't even know. I don't really feel comfortable saying how much it was here on the podcast, actually. But this was like relatively affordable, under $2,000. Well under $2,000, I'll say. Affordable even to someone like myself. I'll send you, if you're looking for a new TV, I'll send you the literature on the one I bought. Yeah, I'll send you a new TV. Well, I mean, I got a 42 here if you want this. This is a LCD from 15 years ago. Maybe we have the same one.
If
I
you
think,
want a
yeah, our
TV, you
TVs
should
are
just
almost
go to
the same age.
Costco and find a TV and just pick it up. You just go pick it up. Don't have to think about it. See
They
which
sell
one's
this TV at Costco.
It's yeah.
It was
See,
it
there
was
you go.
it was like $300 more though. The London Drugs had a hell of a sale on them. Hell of a. So now I'm in that 4K
When I got my last TV, I turned it on and it's like, do you want to do all these setting things that each just spent 4.5 hours doing? I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
default,
No. No.
and we're done.
No. I also had to go buy expensive HDMI cables to make all this stuff work.
How expensive were they?
My 6-foot cable was $30, which is pretty fucking expensive for an
Not
HDMI
bad,
cable.
yeah.
But yeah, it could be worse.
It is. But
Yeah, it's fun. I can't wait to. I realize I have like no 4K content. The TV itself has whoa, I just lost the headphone. Has apps and like Netflix and Prime Video and stuff. So I can get 4K through that. I have realized and did not need to buy these cables because I can't play 4K games because I don't have one of the consoles. But I'm ready. I'm ready for November now. I guess I have to buy a new console, a PS5
yes.
maybe.
Yeah, locked in now.
Yeah. But it's fun. It's really fun. I was way overdue. Even just the nature of a new TV, it looks so much better that I don't know. Maybe I would have hated Westworld less if I had.
How many dead pixels did your TV have from throwing hats at it?
So far zero. But you know, don't worry. Once Hockey Night with the
very
boys comes
inaccurate
around,
hat thrower.
yeah, I just haven't had a lot of hat tricks yet to throw the hats. You know, so
Mm.
soon.
Yeah, that's sports is definitely the like the thing that 4K would do me good for right now. Not right this very moment, as there are no sports, but
Yeah.
But yeah, the game. I don't have any of the systems that would play the 4K content either.
Yeah, the well, your PS5, PS4 will. It doesn't do 4K, but it's HDR at least, which is it's okay. Excuse me. It just turned itself on. What the fuck? Didn't know that I was talking about it. That's weird. All right, I'll turn my TV off. Kevin, how's your week been? Tell us about your week.
My week has been pretty uneventful. Working from home, so I don't have to leave the house pretty much ever. Have plenty of food. Stocked up on tons of frozen pizzas because eating frozen pizza during a pandemic is just the thing to do.
Yeah, fuck yeah. How many pizzas?
Yeah.
How many frozen pizzas do you think you all have crushed? Or just pizzas in general, because we don't all do the frozen lifestyle, but in quarantine so far. Yeah, in quarantine.
Cool.
I'm gonna put it at under 15, but more than 10.
Wow, that's more than me. I'm like 7 or 8 probably.
What are we at? What week are we at the quarantine?
Oh yeah, I guess we should determine when's the starting point. Like,
Sure,
I put myself at about 2 pizzas a week.
I went into self-isolation. I remember it was the March the 12th. No, I don't remember. There's a text in the WhatsApp that I can look at. Whenever that
Sports got canceled on
D&D
Wednesday.
Didn't go. Haven't left my house since.
It's been a long time.
Let's
I was
see.
already quarantined 23rd.
I 10 to 12 pizzas. We'll put it at 10 to 12.
I think I'm right around there too.
That's a reasonable. That's not what was Papa John was eating 40 pizzas in 30 days or whatever, but that's that's still a good 10 to 12 in a few weeks.
That's got issues.
Yeah, he did not eat. You can't eat 40 pizzas in 30 days. Fuck off.
Yeah, why not? That's 4 slices per meal, and you get there.
It's definitely early March. Yeah, March 13th. Wow. So how many weeks is that now? 8 almost?
Almost 2 months. Coming up on 2 months.
I might be at that 15 mark then.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Pizzas.
And I mean, we all owe it to ourselves and really put the effort in. We can probably all. I mean, I know I can at least get to 15 pizzas by the end of this thing. Couple weeks left here probably. I can drive a few more in me.
Yeah, pick up the pace here. We'll do a pizza challenge.
Oh fuck!
If the podcast can get to 100 pizzas by the end of quarantine.
Well, as a group, I bet we're really close. I don't know. Once you factor Warren in there, and I I don't know how much.
Yeah, Warren's usually getting pizza every time I'm getting pizza. So
yeah, we if we put our minds to it, gentlemen, we can do anything. Even eat 100 pizzas in quarantine.
me and Warren each ate a pizza last night while we watched Star Wars Episode 9.
I'm sorry to hear that. How's everybody's week?
Pizza.
What Kevin, you still work from home and everything? Any that's the foreseeable future? There's talk of like reopening stuff here.
I haven't heard anything. Turns out I used to read the paper a lot because they got the paper at work, but now that I don't go to work, I don't read the paper, so I don't get a lot of news. I get a lot of American news because ads on YouTube shit is all American news stuff. But there's very rarely any, definitely no local news. Occasional Canadian news that'll filter its way into my world at this point. But other than that, I don't know anything about what's going on in the world right now.
It's the best way to live. I can't stop. Look, I wake up and I look at news until I go to bed. I'm like, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have looked at so much news today. Brando.
Imagine bathing in the news as I do.
I was going to say, you as a man who makes the news, I got a real bone to pick. We're going to have to turn the news down. Just less news, please, for a while.
My news is always good news. My news is always these kids drew chalk paintings for old people outside their house.
Well, that's fun.
That's rather nice of them, yeah.
We can have more of that news, but less of every other kind of news.
Although I did do a story about a guy getting hit in the head with a baseball bat today.
You did what with a baseball bat today? Sorry?
I did a story about a guy getting hit in the head with a baseball bat.
Oh, he probably wasn't respecting social distancing.
Was it for good reasons? Like, was it a charity hit me in the head with a baseball bat kind of a situation?
$10 a whack.
As far as I know, no reason was given by the assailant.
More on this story.
They did have 10 grams of what's believed to be cocaine, though.
That sounds like a lot of cocaine. I don't know. I don't really have a metric for that.
I mean, any amount of grams of cocaine is a lot of grams of cocaine to me.
That's what they say. You know, any cocaine's a fortune.
Sure.
You guys play any?
I've heard that one too. Yeah.
Any video games? Anybody got anything they want to get into before we talk about video games? Talk about my TV.
There's nothing good on television. There's no good movies. Life is hell.
Television? Yeah, there's nothing good currently on television. This is a time for getting caught up. I saw a new season of Penny Dreadful show apparently came out on HBO, and I watched the first episode, and it seems fucking bad. So I guess you're right. No news.
Yeah, I was going to say, that really seemed like you were going the other way with that. But...
well, I played some games, y'all.
Yeah. You go.
Played. Well, we'll tag team this one together. We played a bunch of... I found myself playing a bunch of Battlefront 2, having kind of gotten into it a little bit last week and tried it out and learned how it goes. It's a real good game for just switching off the brain. That 4 people versus the co-op mode, you just, whoop, brain goes off. Shoot button, you tape it down, and then a few hours later we stop playing.
Yep. I don't even remember half of those matches, and boy, do I not give a fuck if we win or lose them.
Yeah,
you're just kind of sitting there talking to the fellas about Star Wars or whatever else is going on, and like you said, just fucking pulling the trigger as fast as you can. I'm not even hitting anything half the time. I'm like,
playing as an Ewok. We lost a game last night. Well, you thought we lost because you were playing as an Ewok, but I mean, we weren't all playing at our best.
I don't know if we lost because I was playing as an Ewok. I can tell you that it was the worst game I've ever played in my life, and I can chalk that up to playing as an Ewok.
All right, well, not knowing what any of the characters do, I would absolutely agree that you picking an Ewok is what cost you that game.
Yeah, no, you might be right. So, he has his primary weapon is a bow and arrow, which has a kind of traditional bow and arrow control scheme with the Tomb Raider, where you hold it back with and then let go and you get the full release. But everyone's moving so fucking fast and there is no you can't hold until there is a set amount of time you can hold before it automatically fires. So you're trying to line up these guys who are running fucking cross screen on you, and I'll be well, I gotta shoot this at half pull because otherwise this guy's gonna get behind cover, and you can fucking see the arrow just bouncing off their plastic armor and falling to the ground. They don't even know you're there. He has some other attacks, like he throws a bag of fireflies at them sometimes.
What do those do? I've had them
I've
on
been on
me,
the other.
and it's been like
They
no big.
don't
I'm like,
seem
oh
to do a
no,
whole lot.
these things are
They're
here
like
for a few
annoying.
seconds, and then they go away, and nothing seems to have happened.
Yeah, it's very much like, oh, it's just like my screen is a little more busy, but that
Yeah.
seems to be it. And then he has some like tracking skills to find the enemies he can't kill better.
Yes.
So,
which is a big
yeah,
issue
I mean,
when there are like, I think I think we've seen cases where there are like literally 100 enemies on screen. We've walked in some of those rooms,
Right.
and you even one night were like, "It's power of the Xbox, boys." There's just so many fucking guys on screen that sometimes you can't
It was
even
ridiculous.
get in there. You can't even like approach the situation. There's so many.
So yeah, I would say as an Ewok player, Ewok's better designed for a situation where they have a lot of prep time ahead of time to like hide swinging logs in trees and whatnot.
Verticality.
Their general artillery seems to be not up to snuff against the stormtroopers.
Yeah, as is canon. The little droids BB-8 and the evil one BB-9 are like the most terrifying thing still to see come rolling down the fucking hallway of these dreadnoughts at you. You're like, oh god, I'm Darth Sidious. Here comes BB-8. I gotta run. I gotta get the fuck out of here right now, or he's gonna destroy me.
Yeah, it's
so
like
this just in. The
Breaking
Wisties
news.
pouch, which is the Ewok ability of
Wisties?
red things. Wisties, yes, Wisties pouch. It is both a damage over time for 10 damage per second, and a slow while it's on
I
you.
don't even know if that's good.
Does it say how many seconds it lasts?
Oh,
It does 118 damage total.
Okay, so like half health, half your life, basically. But also you regen at such a rate that I don't think maybe it stops regen while it's on you or something. Because you regenerate really fast in that game.
That seems pretty bad, even hearing the facts behind it.
It's a really weird. As loath as I am to admit it, it seems like a pretty good Star Wars game. Now it seems to have gotten.
It seems
there.
like it got there. Yes.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the only like real use of the license almost. Like is the only game out there that has taken the Star Wars license that they have and like used that attention to detail. Some of the like character models and the way they move is just like unbelievable how close to the movies it is.
I thought Fallen Order was very good.
Sure. But like that game was like
you hit it and then you leave it.
Yeah, it's not that you hit it and you leave it. It's like it's kind of barely Star Wars, Like it is. It definitely is. There's Jedi and there's Force and there's holocrons and stuff, but like
there's a good story there.
Yeah, totally. But
but
it's not the Star Wars.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, the Star Wars is not as good. The game I think is probably better. At least I would probably take Fallen Order over Battlefront if I had to pick. But the Star Wars is not. You're not hearing the music from the films. It doesn't make you feel like you're in that world in a way. Where Battlefront 2, you're just like, damn, this is like some of the ways, even just like on the menu, the way that like Darth Maul takes his saber out and spins it. You're like, wow, that is him from the movies.
All the different like appearances for the different stormtroopers and everything. Like you can just spend time in that menu in Battlefront 2 cycling through everything and being like, oh yeah, it's the red one. Fuck, that looks really good. Yeah, there's a rocket trooper. Fuck, he looks really good too.
A lot of the levels I think are really cool, and some of the stuff you're seeing, like it's very neat. If they ever do make another Battlefront, it feels like they maybe have it figured out now. They could probably make something pretty special. If this game came out today, I think it would be we would be talking about it very, very differently.
Right. Would have been a game of the year contender.
3 for PS5. Let's go.
Cross your fingers. Apparently, who's telling me they moved on to something else? We were just having this conversation while we were playing it, I think. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. They put their final update out, though, I know. And I'll look up, is that Motive? Who made Battlefront 2? I know that final update came out, and I think the studio is moving on to something not Battlefront. I'll find out. More on this as the research comes
don't
in.
do that. Sorry, that was a video. Don't do that for if you're listening to the audio podcast.
Luckily,
trying to give myself a nice little backlight to separate my black shirt from my black curtain, but instead I gave myself some real nice Michael Bay lens flare.
Oh yeah, look at that.
It's not gonna work.
Bumblebees
Not gonna
Entering
work.
fucking stage left over there.
Maybe this side I could. Ooh, that's fucking too bright.
Battlefront 2. Oh, it is the 8 dice. Okay. Yeah, they're apparently working on a new Battlefront. Battlefield, pardon me. Whatever's next for Battlefield is what the EA dice is supposed to be going on to. Well, that's perfect, you know. Take some time to make the next Battlefield and really figure out the shooting part of it, and by then Star Wars will be, you know, cranked back to full, and we'll have new movies or whatever out, and perfect time for Battlefront 3.
Do you think they
Everybody
will get?
wins.
Do you think they'll get? Do you think the Star Wars machine will crank up as fast as it ever has before? Now that they're out of this original saga.
Yeah. Don't we know of like 2 movies and a TV show that are already in production? I think it'll be probably. There's a lot of money.
I think the amount of content they're churning out might be there, but I wonder if like the will to design a game like Battlefront 2 where it's all these different. You kind of have to move on. Like you have to get something new, right? You can't just put the same planets and the same characters in a Battlefront 3. You need something more. And I wonder how long it's going to take them to kind of establish that new fiction so that they can be like, well, Battlefront 3 needs to have the Blumber Snatches or whatever the fucking new race.
They finally they've made the Blumber Snatches canon from the Old Republic finally. I think like one movie, I don't know, the first movie of a new franchise, again, it depends on the movie and depends on the game, but I bet you could squeeze it together. Of course, you still have some favorites, right? You're like, here's Hoth and here's... I don't know. I like Hoth. Hoth is the only one I like. Here's Kashyyyk or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. Star Wars is in a really weird spot right now. Really weird spot. Mm-hmm. World aside. Andy tried to convince me that movie Taika's writing and directing. News broke, I think it was this week, that Taika Waititi is writing, directing a new, as a franchise, I think. It's supposed to be the new, or a start of a new, I don't know if it's a trilogy or what.
I honestly don't even know that.
But he tried to convince me that, and I wanted to believe him. He tried to convince me it was going to be it's all about the Old Republic. Andy read a story, and he didn't even read a story. He like heard a guy shout it to him on a highway that is, it's about the Old Republic. I couldn't verify that. Googling Taika Waititi Old Republic did not get me there. Adding in Star Wars didn't get me there, so obviously it doesn't exist.
If there's any sort of rumor that you would believe someone screaming at you as they drive by on a highway, it's definitely that one.
Yeah.
So
it's high time.
Let's get in there on the ground floor.
I don't even know if he's... Is he doing a new like start to a new arc, or is he just doing like what amounts to a Rogue One or a side story? Like I don't even like what even is there? Is there only side stories now, or are they starting a new trilogy about something else? Like I have no idea what the direction of Star Wars is.
Yeah, I thought as I'm reading into this, I realize I guess I don't know. It seems like nobody knows. It is not a Disney Plus one. It'll be theatrically released, is about all we know. Also, he directed the season finale of The Mandalorian. I didn't know that. Star Wars, as much as I do not like Episode 9, still has a very solid place in my heart. It is still one of my founding principles.
I found my kind of wording for my feelings on Star Wars 9 while I was watching Star Wars 9 yesterday, where I said to Warren, the thing with me in Star Wars is I'm watching this knowing this is the most disappointed I've been in the movie in a long time. But while I'm watching Star Wars Episode 9, I'm still just constantly thinking, man, Star Wars is dope. Like the ships are still flying by, the lasers are still going off, the fucking lightsaber fights are still dope. I'm always like, what a great thing, even though this movie was profoundly flawed and disappointing in a lot of ways.
Yeah. The universe is still good. I still want to go live in... I don't want to live in Star Wars, but I still like to visit there every now and again.
I like to imagine it's real. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Super far away. It must be... They can travel at like the speed of light, so it must be really
They never got here.
Away.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they did. Maybe they got here and just blew us up. This was the only planet there was another, like, we tried to find a republic, but these idiots wouldn't. I guess we just nuke them.
Yep.
Kevin, what are your thoughts on the Force?
I enjoy the Force. It's good to use, never abuse. That's not what you want to do with it.
Like the Jedi say, don't get high on your own supply.
That's also, I've heard that one as well. Yes.
What I don't really have any more thoughts on Battlefront 2. I'm gonna make the show about me and swing the conversation over to Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, let's do it.
Which I finished. Brando, you haven't started playing yet, right?
No, my involvement in this spoiler cast will be very contingent on when the fuck you guys do a spoiler cast.
Probably be contingent on when you get done Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's
okay.
It's not super long.
Those are going hand in hand. It's going to be I have May
pretty long.
20th. I have May 20th to 25th off, and I've already penciled that in for fucking just Final Fantasy from start to finish. Yeah,
that'd be a lot.
If you guys haven't done it by then, I will be there.
Took me about right around 32 hours or something, somewhere between 30 and 35 hours. And I did not. I did all the content, but did not stick. I did not perfect all the mini games, but I did do every piece of content. Oh, that's not true. I did not do all the VR battles.
Not even
so I guess
playing,
I guess I did not do everything.
I think I'm somewhere around 38 hours right now, or so.
Too many squats. Also, fucking crushed Kevin squats. First try, baby. First try.
I did see that live. I was very disappointed in how easily it looked like you crushed my squat record.
Buddy, I got Chun-Li thighs over here. I'm squatting all day, every day.
I could not do the championship level pull-ups, though.
It's very hard.
I gave up on that one. I'm like, fuck this. I've been doing it for 45 minutes. I can't get it. It's just I don't remember what his name is right now, but the gym leader, Andrea.
Yeah, definitely Andrea.
Andrade's a wrestler.
Andrade's a wrestler.
Anyway, whoever it was, they just crushed me every single round. If
Have you
I was
seen
ahead,
that dude? He's got abs on his abs.
If I was ahead at the end of the first round, which was only 2 or 3 out of the 15 or so times that I attempted it, it seemed that the difficulty scaling just skyrocketed on the second half because he's like, well, you can't beat me. I'm like, you're right, I can't. Just you fall once and you break rhythm one time against the championship level in that pull-ups, and you're done. That's it. It's over.
It's very tough. The pull-ups are very real life pull-ups, very fucking hard.
How do you? Is it a mash? Sorry if I missed it.
No, it's
how do you pull up?
It's a pattern. So
okay.
In the squats, you start at the top, right, bottom, left. You just go around the controller like that. But in the pull-ups, you go star patterns, and it changes directions at the start of each round, kind of thing.
That's fucked.
Yeah, and
Is that something that you're just instantly really good at, or never going to get good at, depending on how your brain works?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
So it's in a diamond, starting a triangle, right? Triangle, circle, X square, and you press triangle, and then a little thing goes, and it moves down. And if you press circle, is that the right button? Yes. If you press circle before it gets there, then you fuck up, and you have to start over. So you gotta kind of wait, and they'll freeze in their animation, so you kind of find the rhythm, but the rhythm goes faster and faster and faster and faster, and it keeps speeding up. And after 2 rotations, they take the thing away, they take the pattern away, so you just kind of have to know where you are and be like, I think I'm good I think I'm good. I think I can speed up maybe. Too fast. I fucked up. It's pretty challenging actually. Those squats are for babies, but pull-ups, my goodness.
Yeah,
Very
squats
difficult.
are easy.
Yeah. So I finished the game with no prior knowledge of Final Fantasy VII. There was a lot of question coming into this of, it wasn't quite, it was more, if folks let me know that I should play the original, with, opinions ranging all the way from you're probably not going to get the ending, it'll be non-offensive, but just confusing, to you will fucking hate it. It will make no sense and you will be mad. And I finished it. And it seems okay. I don't know. I it seems better than okay. I really enjoyed it, actually. The ending is weird and mysterious, but I think it is very much supposed to be. And there's one character who shows up that I was like, who the fuck is this? They show up right at the very end, kind of, and I didn't know who they were. But that was like literally one. They were on screen for a few seconds in this very kind of abstract way, and that was one Google search is like, this character is this. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. So if you've played a video game before in your life, you'll be okay. You'll be able to make it's not like huge logic jumps to. And I honestly don't know what the like. There was apparently an event that was supposed to be very offensive. I have some ideas as to what that might be, but talking to people who have played the original, it sounds like those things that I'm confused about, they're confused about. So, yeah, don't. If you at home are worried about, hey, I haven't played Final Fantasy VII, am I going to like this? It's totally fine. In fact, I think I probably enjoyed it more because I did not know anything that was coming, and there is like a real middle chapter of that game that if you play the original, you know it's coming. Me not knowing it's coming, wow, is that ever a treat? Holy smokes, is that some real multiple moments of the year we'll say come out of that chapter.
I'll be playing that game then.
Yeah, go for it. I don't think you need the prior knowledge at all. At fucking all. That said, it would be incredibly cool to like, and I was even kind of having some of those moments where you're just walking through some of these sets that you're seeing so immaculately rendered. I'm like, man, imagine playing the original and like going through this space and seeing it now in 3D. There's like a kind of a museum that you're going through at one point. And like even not playing the original, I was still kind of getting a little like, man, Brandon's leaking over there. Like, man, this is something. This is to people who have played it. I bet this is like really, really special, the way that the nostalgia kind of hits. Yeah, we got to have maybe not a full spoiler cast, but like we got to have some talks about the way that game wraps, because it sounds like, regardless of what you know about Final Fantasy, some interesting shit is going on.
Okay, so when we say this game, does this game wrap in a way that we be more parts of this Final Fantasy?
Yeah, sorry, where the call was. Does this wrap in a way that there's going to be more parts? Did you ask?
Yeah, because we were all like the thought was always that, well, this is going to be part 1 of maybe 5 or 11 or.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
Does it still feel like that?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Definitely. Like they flat out are basically like,
does the cliffhanger?
Tune in next time. Yep, on the next exciting episode of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be more parts. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to know how long it's going to be before we're going to get to see what is the next part. There's a lot of things at the end where I'm just playing through the very, very tail end of it right now. I was trying to get done before the show, but apparently I'm about an hour away, which is conveniently about the amount of time that I lost to a bug right at the end of the game. Which is apparently a known bug. I looked it up after the fact when I had encountered it, and like since the game came out, this bug has been there. They haven't fixed it. There's a workaround. When you're going through a certain section in a bathroom at the very end of the game, if you try to interact with any of the little side events that you can interact with, the game just locks you in that scene and won't let you out of it.
Like there are interactables in that bathroom. They're like, oh, like I don't turn on the tap or whatever. Like there's prompts in the bathroom.
Yeah, there's things in the section immediately after the bathroom. I'm trying to be vague.
Yeah.
But when you're crawling through that place, you can peer through these things and see events happening that give you a bunch of backstory stuff. But if you look at those, your game will lock in that scene and you won't be able to back out. You'll have to hard quit to menu. There's apparently a workaround where if you save before then and then power off your console and then turn your console back on, it's supposed to be able to get you past it so that you can view the scenes and back out again. Maybe it's because I haven't technically turned off my console since installing the game.
Years
that could
ago.
be why. That could be why maybe Eads didn't see this glitch and I did. But
I don't even know if I got the scenes. If it takes camera control away from you, like it's a cutscene, I must have missed it. I think I just got through that and was like, oh, that was I wonder why they made me do that. That was weird. But it makes sense that, there's things to see in there, I guess.
Yeah. But so, yeah, I lost about an hour and a half to that, including all the Shinra battle missions that I did.
Oh, they're like side VR kind of combat challenge things.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
sucks. That
So
super
I
sucks.
I did all of those and had to reload, lost all that progress, decided, well, I'm not going to do those again because that was the big time consuming part, and just crit passed it through. Foolishly looked at the second one of these things because there's two of them and they're both bugged. Foolishly, like, okay, well, the first one was broken, but the second one is probably fine.
Yeah, what are the odds?
So I look at the second one, and sure enough, same thing happens. And I had forgotten to save right before it too, so I still had to run back and skip the two cutscenes and run back again. So all in all, I lost about 20 minutes just to watching the scenes, and like an hour and a half of playtime.
Yeah, that sucks.
But the scenes were cool. Could have watched them on YouTube after the fact, but they were still cool.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, there's a bunch of crazy shit that's happening right now. Like, it's all going so fast. I'm in a boss fight right now on pause, doing the show, and as soon as we're done, I'm gonna go run back down and try to wrap that game up tonight.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild, and like having people who had played Final Fantasy VII in the chat being like, what's going on here? And like looking at the chat for my Final Fantasy aficionados, be like, well, here's the backstory you need to get this, and then being like, we also don't know what the fuck's going on here. It's like, okay, now we're all right. Now we're talking. It gets a little. Kingdom Hearts is made by the same person, I guess. Let's say Nomura is a madman. Is a madman. Absolutely. Our definition of sanity does not apply. Yes, genius, another word for it. Yeah, I don't know. We really need to talk about how that game wraps. Loved it. It's super loved it. I don't think the combat's very good. I don't think the combat systems are, and like I have a real. I don't know. I like hard games with really responsive combat, and usually I feel like I can appreciate if they're not for me, but are still well made, something like a Dead Cells or whatever. I don't think the combat in 7's very good at all. Like it's mashy and floaty and loose and frustrating in a way that I just cranked that game down to easy and had a way better time. Way better time.
Yeah, even on playing the easiest difficulty, there's parts where you'll hit an enemy and then there will be no prompt that you can really understand what's going on, and it'll just knock you away for 20 seconds. Like, oh, I didn't know it was going into defensive mode. I sure wish there would have been a way for me to understand that it's going into defensive mode.
Sometimes you'll just die, and it turns out that enemies have a thing called instant death, and there is a item you can get that makes you resistant to instant death, but that seemed like a thing that people are, well, that's in the original game. Well, like, well, cool. Here in 2020, not having played the original, I don't feel good about this boss inexplicably wiping the party every single time for a reason I don't understand, and I'm going to bang my head against it 10 times in a row and then say, fuck this, let's go to easy. And on easy, you can just burn through it before it even gets to that phase. But there's quite a few spots. I don't think the combat's very good. I don't think it's well made. I think it is loose and sloppy, and they ask things of you that require a lot of very tight response time, but you can't cancel out any of those animations, and they are all at least 4 seconds long of like, when that sword comes down, it is sword behind back, it is a second of sword coming over, it is like a twirl overhead sometimes, and then there's a big slash, and you can't interrupt that animation. If you get attacked, you'll take damage. If you get attacked while you're doing your big long what do they call the final flat? The limit break animation.
Limit breaks.
Final flash.
You can get killed while you're doing those, which is so fucked. It's a super long, and when I say super long, I mean like 10 seconds maybe. Like, you can die. You can die in the middle of them, which is crazy. You can get knocked out of spells because the animation time is hilariously long. You still lose the SP, like you still lose the resources, but the spell doesn't go off. And it's just little things like that as you start fighting more and more enemies and they have more and more mechanics, I don't think it's not good.
Really,
I don't like it.
I'm a huge and this is being extremely sarcastic, I'm a huge fan of the way they did the ice spell in this game, because every other spell, you cast it on the enemy and it hits the enemy. The ice spell in Final Fantasy VII, you cast it on the enemy's current location, and it plumes up with a frozen sphere that will sit there for a few seconds and then explode and do its damage to anything that's actually in the area.
Yeah, assuming they haven't moved.
9 times out of 10, you cast your ice spell on an enemy, it moves 4 feet to the left, your spell goes off and doesn't hit anything.
Yeah, and it's that, but on every single level of the combat. Like, not just the ice spell, it happens on the attacks, it happens everywhere in a way that... Don't be shy about... And your AI companions are so fucking useless. Don't be shy about turning that game on to easy. I still think it's a fine time. It's a fine time. The combat goes fast enough that it's never offensive. It is, at worst, something that you just can quickly get through.
There's 2 difficulty levels, right?
Yes. Also, there's only 2 difficulty levels, which is... So if normal is too hard, like it was for me, easy is hilariously easy. Easy, if you put it on easy, and do the mode where your guy moves himself, you don't even have to play. You can literally put the controller down and they will win. I bet maybe not the final boss fight because there's like some specific things, but I bet literally every other encounter in that game it could handle is how easy is. Easy is fucking easy.
It would take ridiculously long time to play that game on classic mode without interacting with the combat, because when you leave it by itself, it literally the AI waits like 10 seconds between its inputs that it decides to do. So it'll basic attack 3 times and then it will wait about 10 seconds before it decides to basic attack 3 times again. And that's all that it really does.
But easy is still easy enough. I bet it could do it. Like the difficulty gulf is massive. There's no, if it's too hard, there's no way to make that combat feel good with the options they've given you. It is either, I feel like normal is frustratingly hard. In some spots, granted I played like 2/3 of the game on normal. But easy is like, easy is kind of pointless. They should rename it to pointless in a way, because like, just close your eyes if you want. Done.
I don't know that would go over well in a pitch meeting.
It must have, because it's what made it into the game.
It was probably pointless, and they're like, maybe we should change it to easy.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of the Kingdom Hearts combat, which again is not good, is bad, actively bad. You do have a block this time, I guess, but even still. All in all,
you can get a block in Kingdom Hearts.
All in all, very positive.
You have to spec for blocking
the whole thing.
It is a equipable ability that takes AP.
The music, fucking incredible. Oh my god, so good. Kevin, you're about to hear some of the best music in that whole game. I can't wait for you to finish it. Oh, the music of the year, book it right now.
The music has been good throughout the entirety of the game. Mostly me for nostalgia purposes, but it's like hearing all the remixes of all the old music is just really great.
What else you been playing, Kev?
So we've been talking for a long time about the nature of auto chess games, and
yes, auto battlers,
in
please.
the past, auto battlers, yes, they've evolved since then.
Philosophical here.
And how I've never really been able to find one that kind of hits with me. I played the Dota one.
Auto chess, that one's called.
No, when it was the Dota. What's
sorry, Underlords.
Yes, Underlords is the one I tried.
Yep, that's the one I play like on the regs. That's my personal choice.
So it turns out, playing it, I don't really remember enough about Dota itself to understand what the units are doing in that game. I had one unit that I could have sworn looked like a ranged unit, so I put it in the back. But turns out it was a melee unit, so by the time it moved its way to the front of the line, it was basically dead anyway.
And
I don't really understand
people with the arrows from his quiver.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I never
pulls
really
out a gun
understood
and just fucking hits him with it. Starts pistol whipping fools.
I never really understood where to put my units on the grid in Underlords.
Yeah, that's still a huge matter of debate.
Out of my unit.
Yeah.
So I've seen a couple people play the Hearthstone one, Battlegrounds, and it looked decent enough. I know enough about Hearthstone in general to give it a try. It still took me, a few games reading through the units that I've never seen before. And somebody plays something against me, like, holy shit, that card is broken, and stuff like that. But I've been enjoying it quite immensely. I've probably played about 40 or so games in the last 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, it's a heck of a little game. Are they still? Is it still Mech? What are the four? Mech Beast.
Yeah, Mech Beasts, Dragons, Murlocs,
Shield the
and I think
guys,
that's it.
whatever that,
Fuck's
whatever
a
that one
Murloc?
is.
A Murloc is like a fish person who makes a lot of
But like a
gargling
monstery
sounds.
one, yeah. Not like a mermaid, like they look like a Gollum,
like-
but with fins.
Mm,
Yeah, like imagine a fish and then attaching it to a body instead of its fish body.
okay, I got it.
Yeah, terrifying, right?
Gremlins
Yes.
of the sea.
Yes. Yeah, so I've been playing a ton of that. It's a lot of fun. At
A lot of variants. People of all the auto battlers that are popular right now, Hearthstone Battlegrounds is apparently has the most variants. I haven't run the math myself, but it probably makes sense because there's a lot of cards in that like make random cards appear, and there's a lot of random. The word
Yes, there
random
is.
shows up a lot in Battlegrounds.
There's a couple different ways you get units in this game. Each unit costs 3 gold when you buy it. They're all fixed prices. You level up your level, I guess, and as you level up, you can recruit units of that level. There's 6 levels, so probably the same as a lot of auto chess battlers. The difference is in this one, I know in Dota or whatever it was, your level was equal to the number of units you could have on the board, I think.
Yeah.
But in this one, you have your 7 Hearthstone slots as usual. Your level doesn't influence the number of units you can have at all. You can stay at low level. There's certain strategies that involve staying at low levels and just filling your board with units. But
There's
one
like
of the ways you can,
Oh, sorry to cut you off.
no, sorry. One of the ways other ways you can get units is if you collect 3 of the same unit, it turns into a super unit. And when you play this super unit, a golden unit is what it is, you also get a card that you play that gives you a free random unit that you can choose between 3 different ones that spawn of the next higher level, tavern level is what they call it. So if you're level 3 and you play a golden unit, you now get a card which will generate you a free level 4 unit of your choice between these 3 choices. So my one game that I played that was just absolutely broken, I leveled up to level 2, got a golden unit, which is a level 3 unit. The golden unit I took was a Shifter Zerath, which if you play Hearthstone, it's a card that when it's in your hand, it becomes a random card at the start of every turn. And the pool it has to choose from is every unit in the game. So it will randomly become one of the other units in the game.
A lot of variants.
A lot of variants.
Like a huge, because it's like one in, there have to be like 30-ish units maybe in the game, maybe more in the game.
Probably more. I'd say closer to 50 or 60. I'm not too sure.
So to randomly roll a dice and be like, give me one of these. I hope it's good. I hope it's good and fits my deck.
The very next turn, I pulled the best unit in the game for the deck that I was currently playing. Probably played it and steamrolled everyone for the rest of the game. It was a beautiful thing to watch. When I first started playing, holy Christ, was I bad!
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of micro in this game involving buying units, getting the benefit from that unit when you play it, and then selling it and buying more units and like cycling through things to improve the things that you want to keep.
More than Underlords, you are like you say there's real micro where you gotta like. Sometimes you have like 50 actions to try and squeeze into a turn. Where like, hey, I gotta buy, sell, reroll, buy. Like you have to fucking go in a way that Underlords you gotta do a little bit, but like that was the biggest challenge for me with Hearthstone was holy shit, you have to do a lot between rounds.
Yeah, so the first few games that I played, probably 10 or so, when I was just tanking it. Was and like learning the cards. So it's like you have 15 to 55 seconds or whatever it is. The amount of time you get for a turn scales up as the game goes on. So like say you have 45 seconds to do a turn, I'll spend the first 30 seconds of that like reading the cards that I have to choose from and being like, okay, well, if I take this, what happens? And if I take this, what happens? And then by the time I actually get around to, okay, this is what I want to do with my turn, now there's 5 seconds left and I'm like, oh, fuck, panicking. And needless to say, that was not a very good strategy to win games.
Panicking rarely is.
But now that have put in the time and have learned what all the cards do, learned how they interact with each other, learned what to expect when I see my opponent playing a certain archetype, my win rate has skyrocketed.
Hell yeah. What'd you score? Are they still doing the 4-digit score, like the MMR score?
Yeah, I'm currently 5,500-ish or so.
I must not remember how it works because I thought I was 1,400.
You start at 4,000 now. I don't know what it was before.
Okay, all right. I think I might be like 4,100 then. I'm like a game above 500 maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been doing really good. I've been improving my game. I've been watching strategy videos, trying to get better.
They still give you like a random hero out of they have like a big ass pool of random heroes. You know, like a Hearthstone hero that has an ability.
You get a Hearthstone hero that has an ability. If you pay money or gold, you can unlock the option to have 4 choices. Where
they're just about that. That's a huge advantage. That's a huge pay to win advantage.
Yeah, I only get
there.
2 choices. So I've gotten to the point where I've started playing actual Hearthstone to try and earn gold in order to unlock the perks so that I can have 4 choices.
That's I actually forgot about that. Is it really 2 to 4? It doubles if you buy the battle pass or whatever their monetization thing is.
And that's literally the only thing you get. The only thing you get is an extra 2 heroes to choose from at the start.
And their abilities are crazy. Like they range from some of them I think are pretty. When I played, some of them were pretty useless. Some of them are incredibly powerful. Like and they're weird in the context of Hearthstone, which is kind of fun. Like some of them are like one of them you just start the game with a unit that is all unit types. And there's a long time. I don't know if it still is. There's a long time where that was the clear cut best one by a huge margin.
It's still really far up there. Yeah.
Weird things where like if you play a random, it's like it'll rotate through the types where it's like this turn's a beast. If you play a beast, your beasts are better. Next turn's a mech. If you play a mech on this turn, your mechs are better. It's like weird shit like that, which is really, it's cool. It's different. It's very different.
Yeah. So when I was learning to play, like there was stages where I would completely ignore what my hero did because I wasn't ready to fucking deal with that whole interaction yet because I was still figuring everything else out. And then once I had that side figured out, then it was figuring out, okay, well, how does my unit strategy actually interact with my character? Which was a whole other thing to figure out.
There's a lot of depth to it.
I haven't even played all the classes yet. There's still probably a handful of classes that I haven't even seen in my choice of 2 at the beginning.
Oh, wow.
There's one for sure that I haven't seen ever. It's some dude who lets you divine shield your own units for 3 gold, I think it is. Haven't seen that class in any of the 40 or 50 games that I've played so far.
Hearthstone Battlegrounds.
So yeah, Hearthstone Battlegrounds.
Brandon, you got any other games?
No, I more of the same. The Overwatch new season started. And the Apex season is starting soon, so
I installed that.
That's kind of what I'm dead.
Installed that on the old Xbox.
I'll say this now because it's not really big enough for a news story. But for those who are not a fan of the what they've been doing, if you haven't been following for the last season at least, was pulling heroes out in rotation, so that there was usually a tank, 2 DPS, and a healer, I think, were always unavailable for a week or so. They are keeping that only if your rank is 3,500 or above, which is
Oh, weird.
I'll never even see
So there's like
close to that. So
there's like a certain point in the
It's
ladder
basically-
now where the meta is just very different below it, and then you get above it, and these 4
Yeah.
heroes go to rotation.
yeah, totally. And so they're basically at the point where they're like, "What? Yeah, you guys can do whatever." Like we're still playing at a level where if you put a Bastion on top of the payload and get someone who can shield them, we're gonna fucking have a hell of a time figuring out how to handle that. Whereas on the pro levels and the highest ranks, Bastion is considered one of the 2 characters in the lowest tier. Like he's like no one uses him.
Yeah.
But you put a Bastion down where I'm playing, and we're fucking like, oh god, get out the chalkboard. We need to draw up a plan.
They got a code red. They got Bastion in.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Just rage
But,
quit. Fuck
I'm-
this. I'm not playing against a Bastion again.
I play all 3 classes every time to minimize my wait times. But there are a couple classes that I only play one hero in that class effectively. So I'm very happy to be to know that I'm not going to have that person taken from my rotation.
Yeah, and like it makes sense, really. Like if you're below a certain ELO, if you're below a certain not yet what MMR matchmaking rating, you're probably not. I mean, maybe you are. Like, I don't mean to paint everyone with the same brush or whatever, but you're probably not at the level where you're factoring in the champions that are rotated out into your meta, unless it's like, well, that's my main, so I guess I got to play my backup this week or whatever. It makes a lot of sense, like you say, where people probably have mains, and when those mains rotate out, especially at the lower skill levels, it's like, well, now what? Now I'm just useless. My dude's gone.
I bet you they probably had tons of metrics that showed when certain champions rotated out. I bet you a lot of lower ELO players just stopped playing until they rotated back in.
That's
bet you that's totally
Oh,
true.
totally.
Yeah. Bastion's out, and the player numbers just fucking, and then Bastion's back in.
Yeah,
Oh,
I fucking love that
fascinating.
game.
We'll probably end up playing a
but
bunch
no,
this
that's-
week. I got
that's
it on my X now.
Hop back into Doom for the first time in probably 2 weeks. Since before I got back into Dragon Ball Super. And the first level I played. So like I said, the last thing I did before my break was I fought the first one of those Marauders, which I just fucking hated.
Yeah, me too.
And that was me only fighting one of them and his minions. So I can only imagine if there's ever actual enemies surrounding him, how much I'll hate it. But I got back in, played the first level where there is no Marauder, or there isn't, at least up in the level, up to the point of the level that I'm in, and was instantly just like, oh yeah, I forgot this is maybe my favorite game I've played all year when it's going right. So super good to get back into that.
Yeah, cap it off. Finish that game off and formulate that opinion.
Yes.
Let's go for a quick break here. I got Gears Tactics to talk about a little bit. Not a ton to say. We'll talk about that after this quick musical break. Let's talk about a little bit of Gears Tactics here. We were just saying on the break that our Westworld podcast, Westworld FM, is up now. Oh, I forgot to say off the top. Part 1 of our Dragon Ball Z podcast, Super Saiyan Pod Super Saiyan, is up now as well on the main podcast feed. It's so good. Gears Tactics is, I don't know if I talked about it last week at all. I played a little bit last week, played a little more this week. Tactics game, obviously top down. It's hard not to compare it to XCOM because XCOM Command Squad just came out, but you have a squad of 4 dudes, up to 4 dudes, or dudettes. They have 3 actions each, which you can use in any combination of move, shoot, overwatch, or like use specialty abilities that you have. You are kind of hunkering down at the cover, and it is much more like XCOM kind of feels like chess, where it very much feels like there is a kind of a finite and usually low number of pieces on the board. There are 9 enemies out there, and I have to go discover them as slowly as I can. Those 9 enemies are just they're never gonna be more than that in XCOM, it feels like. Whereas in Gears Tactics, they're kind of constantly, every round, more enemies are gonna spawn. And you're much more like setting up choke points and these like kill boxes with Overwatch. It's very fun when it's coming together. I really like it. It feels very different than XCOM. Trying to play it like XCOM, like I've had to try to break myself out of that because I've been trying to play it like XCOM and it's been giving me a lot of trouble. That game doesn't teach you shit. I've run into a major issue with that game where the UI is it does show you the information, but it doesn't tell you how to interpret it. So for the biggest offender is Overwatch. For example, when you are just like an XCOM, when you're going to shoot somebody, it gives you a percent chance to hit, 85% chance to hit. You get minus 10% chance because they are higher range, minus 40% chance for cover, plus 20% because you're flanking. It breaks it all down. The percents, you know exactly what you're going to hit for, you know exactly how much you're going to crit for, and the information is all right there for you to see. When you Overwatch, none of that information is ever given, and it's not clear why you should Overwatch. Why should I Overwatch here and not shoot? If I have an 80% chance to kill this guy, should I shoot or should I Overwatch? Because maybe he's going to move out of cover, and then I have a 100% chance, or, again, it's not clear. It's never clear why you should Overwatch over shoot, which already is super, super frustrating. I think, and the logic I've been using, is yes, that they have to move out of cover first, so they won't get the cover bonus. Again, I don't know. The game never fucking tells you, and I think that is a huge, huge problem. When you put down an Overwatch cone, it turns out there is this like very, very faint black kind of cross-hatching. Very, very, very faint. Super hard to see. And I actually thought it was just shadows in the world. I thought it was just the shadows from like, a tree, and it's casting its shadow. It's just showing up on the cone. Apparently that black crosshatch means you do not have line of sight on that area, but will still shoot. Somehow your guy knows he's there and will still shoot, but will miss.
Curve the bullet.
You should, but they hit with the chainsaws. It's hard to make the spin motion you need.
Yes.
And they never explain that to you. That is just left for you to figure out. And so for like multiple levels, you're like, why did I do no damage in that Overwatch? What is happening? Did he just miss? What is going on? It's very, very hard to understand what the fuck is happening. And that happens. There's so many mechanics. There's a mechanic called Interrupt where you will just lose your turn, and you can do it to enemies. It seems like the most important mechanic of the game because they will start walking towards you. If you can interrupt them, they're not going to shoot you. And in fact, they're going to waste all their other actions too. I have no idea what makes it happen. And I'm on the 8th level of the game. I've been playing for 6 hours almost. I thought it was if you take half their life down. First I thought it was if you take half their max life down, but that's not true. Then I thought it was if you take half their current life down, but that's not true. Then I thought it was if you shoot them 2 times in the same round, but that's not true. So it's just all this guesswork, which in a tactics game feels fucking terrible. Super duper terrible of you're giving me the percents on my shots, and okay, then 90% shot. I'm weighting these percentages very heavily and, trying to run the math. And it just doesn't tell you jack fucking shit, top to bottom. And there are so many more things that you just have to figure out. Turns out, friendly fire, totally in the game. You don't find out until one of your units kills another one of your units and you lose the mission. And you're like, oh, this game has friendly fire. This game needs a fucking tutorial.
Just like real life.
Yeah, but none of the other games.
No one knew
right?
there was friendly fire until they shot their friend with a gun.
Nothing else that you've played in this vein probably has friendly fire. It's very counterintuitive that unless they're like, by the way, there's friendly fire. By the way, this cross-hatched area out. They give you things on the UI and then don't explain what those things are. And that's basic game design of I'm going to put up a symbol. Here's a symbol of an orange circle with 3 dots in it. But I'm never going to tell you what that symbol means. Why? Don't even give me the symbol then. Don't even give me the information that I can't interpret.
3-star Dragon Ball.
It turns out it was the 3-star Dragon Ball. And it really has this problem. So every time I fail at a mission, it is usually because I discover this new mechanic in the game, and I'm just redoing the same mission over and over and over. I had to restart 4 times at the very beginning of a mission, learning all okay, well now I know that I can shoot my own guys. All right, let's not do that again. Okay, well now I know that this means I'm gonna waste the shot but not have line of sight. Let's not do that again. Okay, well now I know that I'll get interrupted if I get into melee range of this guy. I don't know what interrupted means, but I know not to do that anymore. And the way that they don't teach you anything and just leave you to smash your face into it sucks. It is so frustrating. Because again, it feels like it is the game's fault that you are losing. Well, if you would have taught me that, I could have, it's not even something I had to think about. It is common sense. Don't shoot my fucking friends. I just had to be told, hey, you have the chance to shoot your friends if you don't plan around it. And it just kind of keeps happening. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. And that's really frustrating. But aside from the UI and the information issues, I really like it. There's something really fun about setting up this 4 or 3 guys all with Overwatch cones pointing at a choke point and then having 40 wretches and they all move simultaneously on their turn, which is really fun. At the same time, they'll just come swarming in, and you'll just mow them down, and all these corpses are flying everywhere, and it feels good, and it feels fun. It feels very different than XCOM and things. But the whole time, you're just slamming your head into the mechanics, and inevitably there's something new that you didn't know that completely fucks you, and you have to restart the mission, and that feels very bad. That part of it, I fucking hate. Absolutely hate. But other than that, it seems pretty good. They're telling a little story. I'm actually kind of interested in the story. They're hitting on some events that you've only heard about in Gears and are getting to see for the first time, which is cool. It's very well produced. It's well put together. Looks and sounds incredible. And other than some major UI issues, I think it's very good. Yeah. And
I have the same problem going back to Battlefront 2 a little bit, but when you try to look at the skills for what things do, there's usually, and you're usually in a bit of a hurry when you're doing it, there's usually like 3 paragraphs of like flavor text trying to build this ability into the lore of the world.
Yeah.
Which explains like, well, he uses the force to project his legs forward faster than any ordinary man can do it after years of training in the Jedi temples, working on his speed and the speed branch of the fucking learnings tree. And then at the very bottom it says increases your speed for 5 seconds.
If you're lucky, it says increases your speed.
Garbage
if you're playing
all that up until increases your speed for 5 seconds.
If you're playing Obi-Wan, it's shit like makes enemies feel less inclined to retaliate. Like, what?
I don't know what that means.
What does that even mean? Yeah, there's some of those abilities are really worded strangely. And them's all the games I played. How about some news, gentlemen?
All right.
The Xbox Series X. That this was the event they were going to show Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay. Happened on May the 7th, which I watched. They did not show gameplay. Like, they did not show any gameplay, I don't think, from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They showed stuff in-engine. They showed cutscenes running in-engine. Not gameplay, by any means, I don't think.
That word should mean something.
Yeah, it should. It totally should. Like, they totally set themselves up to fail. And people, there's a very loud public response. And I think I even saw Phil Spencer get out there being like, hey, we'll really show gameplay in July. For realsies this time. Sorry, gang. But they showed a few... I don't know. It's such a weird showing for the first look at the Xbox Series X. They basically... Like, it kind of felt like they showed... Like, this sounds really like I don't know how to say it without sounding shitty, but like it almost felt like they showed a like what is new, what are the new games of the week, basically. Not like what are the things the Xbox Series X can show off well. What here's the power it offers. Here's a game taking advantage of it. It was literally kind of just felt like here are like 7 or 8 games that we think will be done. Here are maybe the only 7 or 8 games we think might be done. And we didn't get much information. I'll go through all this stuff pretty quick. Did anyone else watch any of this? Did anybody else have any?
No,
I didn't see any of it.
It was happening when I was at work.
Yeah, did not miss very much. They showed first-person shooter called Bright Memory Infinite, which first-person shooter, some flavor, has swords, has like a murder nipples. What's the game with the murder nipples? Murder boners.
Oscar's
Murder boners.
Wrath.
No, grapple hook of energy, dude Hugh, Cliffy, no, Bulletstorm, there we go, Bulletstorm, has like a Bulletstorm grapple hook, where it looked a lot like Bulletstorm, where this like, I don't know what's going on in this game, this person shows up and is shooting soldiers, and then a Viking appears out of nowhere, and they fucking slam the ground with their weird energy whip, and this guy floats into the air, and they cut him in half with a sword, and I have no idea what's happening in that game, and I'm looking this up right now, because I think Bright Memory is already a game on Steam. And
So this is a sequel?
Yeah, it's not clear if it's a
Bright
sequel.
Memory colon?
Or like it's not a colon, it's called Bright Memory Infinite, but it is from the same folks. Apparently if you buy Bright Memory on Steam, you will automatically get Bright Memory Infinite, which makes it kind of sound like maybe I'm not really sure, like a pack of some kind, maybe an HD upres, or I don't know. This Bright Memory is a first-person shooter hack and slash episodic game. Episode 1 was released in January 2019, so I'm not really too sure on that one. They showed Dirt 5, which will run at... There's a bit of confusion here. Will run at 4K or 120 frames per second. Not 4K 120. There's people on the internet seem to think that the Xbox Series X can do 4K 120. It cannot. It cannot. It can do 1080 120. It can do 4K 60, which Dirt 5 will run at. They showed Scorn, a game that kind of, I don't know, there's like some weird fleshy aliens. I thought it was an alien game. I thought it was an Alien versus Predator game at first. But it is, I don't really know how to describe it at all. There's a trailer out that you should watch. It is very, is he a painter who, Alien is based on Alien is based on his works, on their works. Does anyone know what I'm, hang on, I'm going to type Alien painter, H.R. Geiger. Yes, it very much looks like a living works of, if you just search H.R. Geiger, you will see art and immediately go, oh, okay, I know exactly what you're referring to. Like weird organic machinery, System Shock-ish. Some of this is like borderline. Some of this is, forget borderline, some of this is downright erotic. Lewd. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness! I need to get out of this page. Wowzers! It very much looks like some of that artwork. They showed. What's going on? Are you doing okay with that, Kev? Just watching I'm just watching these eyes get bigger.
I was looking at one of these H.R. Geiger pieces of art, and I started at one side, and I'm like, "Holy shit, that's out there!" And then I continued on and like followed the picture, and like as I got to different parts of the picture, I'm like, "Holy shit, this just keeps going. It just keeps getting more and more out there."
Oh yeah. They showed something called Call of the Sea, which I was so sure. Oh my god! Because remember, Cloud Chamber is working on a BioShock game. I was so sure this was BioShock, but no, it's called Cloud of the Sea, or pardon me, Call of the Sea. They showed a sci-fi game called, I think it said Chorus. They stylized the U as a V, so it might be Corvus. It might be churches. Just like churches. Yeah, it might be. Well, I guess Corvus, or I think it's Chorus. It seems to be a sci-fi game with a lady who has a sentient ship. They showed Second Extinction, which looks like Destiny, but what if instead of aliens you were fighting dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hell
it kind of looked. It looked okay. I don't know.
That like it ain't no thing. Matt Eads over here.
All right, I'm gonna buy an Xbox just for this game. Shooting dinosaurs, sign me up.
They showed The Ascent, which is kind of, to me, it looked kind of like a Diablo-like. It's apparently a co-op cyberpunk RPG. They showed The Medium, which is the next game from Team Bloober. That's a fun dev name to say, pardon me. Most recently known for their work on the Blair Witch game. They showed Madden. It's Madden, you know. They showed Vampire Masquerade's Bloodline Trailers 2, which had a fucking weird trailer. I sort of thought I knew... maybe not what that game was, but I thought I had a grasp of the tone of that game. But this trailer opens with like people strung up, like it looked like the Joker had been there. It's like people strung up like puppets with like the hooks making the big smiles, and you're like, wait a minute, is this a Joker game? Is this Batman? What is happening? No, it's Vampire the Masquerade 2, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. They showed Yakuza Like a Dragon, which already is out on PS4 in Japan. It's coming here to North America, Xbox One. They showed Scarlet Nexus, which is the most anime thing I've ever seen, Bandai Namco. A teeny tiny bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which would not really gameplay. They just sort of showed a trailer. And they said that all these games will be smart delivery, which is the Microsoft word for like cross-buy. If you buy it on the Xbox One, you will automatically get it on the Series X if and when you upgrade. With the exception of Madden. Madden has a weird like time frame where you must have bought by, I'm going to try to do this off memory. I think you must have bought it by, I think it's the end of the year, December 31st, 2020. Look this up if you're a Madden person because you don't want to miss out on this. We have to have bought it by just the end of the year, and then you have to have upgraded by March. And I don't really know why. I don't know why there's like a weird exclusivity only around Madden, or what EA gains by trying to sell people 2 copies if they're outside. Again, it doesn't really make sense. But all the other games, if you buy them on current gen,
something to do with licensing and making sure like money exchanged in certain quarters is paid out in certain quarters, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And then they're gonna do a one of these showcases. They're calling them Xbox 2020s. I guess they're gonna do one of these show 20/20. You know, like Vision.
Yeah,
not
for whatever
not like
that's
the year.
worth.
They're gonna do one each month for the rest of the year. Next one, July, they're gonna show the first party stuff. So we'll find out more then. A weird showing for their reveal event, like a really, really weird showing where a lot of these games already exist on things like PC or other consoles. And even the stuff they did show was like, yeah, this looks like a modern. I mean, Bright Memory Infinite I thought looked pretty flashy, but everything else was like, yeah, these look like modern. This could be running on an Xbox One for all I know. These look like modern games, I guess. Yeah, like a really weird first showing. I don't was not really the like energize the audience to get out there and start pre-ordering this thing.
Right. It
At
feels
least I
like the
wasn't.
games that even without seeing them that you would consider showpiece franchises for Microsoft weren't there. So it
Yeah.
wasn't even like it wasn't like, oh shit, the new Forza doesn't look great, or oh shit, the new Halo doesn't look great. It really felt like they were saving something. Like they did not view this day as the big day.
Yeah, and they've
Where they
kind
were
of said
gonna,
as much.
yeah,
But like, if that's the case, maybe just flip the order of these two conferences, right? Like, you want that first showing. Like, you probably want to blow people away. You're like, here's Halo Infinite. Here's all the things it can do on the Xbox Series X that it couldn't do on the One. Here's the reason you need to spend $550 at the end of this year in unprecedented economic times, basically.
right. So I wonder if it makes more sense right now to have that up front, or if that makes more sense to have that closer to when they want your money.
Yeah, that might also be a part of it. But we will see more as the months roll through. I got a lot of little news stories. Wow, we got a lot of little news stories. Holy smokes. We'll go through some of these pretty fast. Jason Schreier thinks the PS5 reveal event will be early mid-June, kind of coming off Xbox. He does not source that at all. He just says it on a podcast. He's like, yeah, by the way, look for that reveal event early mid-June. But Jason Schreier,
Someone screamed at him on a highway as they were driving by.
yeah, he's been like
It was Andy.
busting. Tell him about the Old Republic. It's you can take what he says to the bank. He's been busting stories wide open the last few years here. I think he recently. I mean, this is not really related to anything. I think he recently left the publication he was working for, and I'm not sure where he is now.
I once upon a time knew.
Yeah, so did I actually. I bet I can find out real fast. Jason Schreier. I'm still on images from looking up that HG
It was a bigger
Geiger
outlet.
porn.
Like it was something that doesn't. It was something that doesn't exclusively do games, but they're obviously working on something about workplace conditions and stuff in gaming. But I can't remember the parent company.
Yeah, it's not Kinja anymore. I'm not actually sure. I can't readily find it here, so we'll just
I'll know when I
move
see it.
on. Yeah, it's not. This is not
Yeah.
really super important, but you've heard the name Jason Schreier a lot on this podcast in the last couple of years. EA got out there and said they were going to release 14 games during this fiscal year. That's a lot of games. And people think that a Mass Effect trilogy remaster might be 3 of those games, or maybe 1, I guess, depending on how it's packaged. And this
that
comes
counts
from
as 3 for sure.
I wonder. I kind of wonder if there's going to just be like, here's 10 phone games and Mass Effect. And this came from. So again, the sourcing on this one is a huge rumor. Sourcing on this not great. Jeff Grubb, who writes for VentureBeat, just posted it at the end of a story. Not sourced. Very last line of his story about EA's. You can find this on VentureBeat. EA's 14 games this fiscal. Says, and that HD remaster of an EA game is the Mass Effect trilogy. Just don't also expect it to launch on Switch, at least not at first. That's it. Jeff Grubb says. I don't know where he got this info. I don't know why he thinks that. Jeff Grubb says that apparently Mass Effect trilogy, which we've been hearing rumors about forever, and we heard they were ramping up production on a new Mass Effect last year, so it makes good sense. Very good sense.
I'm very outspoken about my back to old video games almost ever, with the exception being if a sequel's coming out, then normally I'll play the game before the sequel comes out. Mass Effect is one of those games that I will play another 100 times before I die, and if they up-res it, that just gives me another excuse.
It'd be very cool if they could modernize Mass Effect 1. somehow. Even just the combat. I don't know how much of a pass they're doing. I don't know if it is literally just up-res or if they're going to get in there and rework some stuff or what. But Mass Effect 1 would really benefit from being modernized. Mass Effect 1 is very hard to play in today's day and age. Very quick story I just pulled here because I was complaining about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I was going to say last week, probably every week. Who is this? Malik Tefa, who's the head of communications. Again, these stories this week, not the best sourced, but the head of communications for the Middle East at Ubisoft says that Assassin's Creed Valhalla won't be the longest or biggest game in the series. They addressed criticism on this one because they heard me say that Odyssey is a hot, bloated mess. Odyssey is this thing that wants you to buy their microtransactions and suffers for it greatly. And he says it won't be the longest or biggest game in the series. We don't need the most game. We just need the best game.
Origins was arguably too long.
And
Odyssey was like double the size of Origins.
Yeah. Odyssey, I feel like Odyssey is maybe more like triple the size to like 4 times. I feel like Origins is like, it took me close to 40 hours to finish it. Folks are saying if you want to see everything in Odyssey, plan for like 120, 150 hours, which is too much Odyssey.
It's too much Odyssey.
Yeah. Do I have any more news stories? I think it's all... Oh, I should have maybe done this one a little closer to the top. The Apex, the next season of Apex apparently starts next week with a new character. Loba? Do you know this character, Brando? I'm gonna assume it's Loba.
No, I haven't. I haven't even looked. I think there's more information than what we have here in front of us on this character now, though. I think there's abilities and such.
Oh shit! Really? Well,
yeah.
I pulled this story this morning. Excuse me, there were. Let's see. Loba abilities explained. Breaking news here as I update this story live.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Here we go. They're leaked. Leak not confirmed. All right, but I do have the leaks. Yes, new hero, new season coming, starting next week. Her name is again. She's I think it's Loba. The Spanish name, Loba, however it's pronounced. Here are the abilities. Burglar's best friend. Throw a disc and teleport to that location. Dope. Just like in Real Tournament. Remember the old, I forget what it was
That's
called.
probably their left bumper.
A teleport thing that you would shoot a disc and then you could just wait. You could just leave it and you could teleport back to it.
Yeah.
But if somebody shot it and you tried to teleport back to it, then you died. And it was called telefragged.
Yeah. Very similar to Sombra in Overwatch.
If you kill her teleported, does she die when she tries to go back to it?
No, but I don't actually think you can destroy your teleporter. But the toss a thing, go do whatever you want, and then warp to the thing that you tossed is very Sombra.
Supply for demand. You hold to reveal. Hold to choose a type of loot. Reveal that type of loot in the area around you and through walls. So
maybe that's your passive.
Yeah, hold to choose. Reveal that type of loot and area through walls. So how? I don't really know how to interpret that. Would you be like, I choose weapons, and it's just going to highlight every weapon around me? That's
I'm gonna assume they put like some restrictions on what those weapons are. Like, probably can't find the legendary weapons and stuff like that. But that would be super handy for ammo, even if it was only ammo, which it isn't.
I bet that one you can, because her next ability here says, "Eye of Quality." Loba can see through nearby walls for loot. So I wonder if she can always see nearby, and then that one maybe lets you scan for. I don't know. We'll find out next week.
That's all the abilities?
And then Black Market Boutique is place a device that can steal all nearby loot. So apparently she has a lot of stuff about loot. Place a device that can steal
probably her
all
ult.
nearby loot. So, like, are you going to take at people's guns? Is the idea like you get hit by her ultimate and then you just have no gun? You're like, oh, shit.
I feel like loot, for me, the word loot in video games was always stuff that was not claimed by someone else. So maybe she throws it down and there's like an area of effect that scoops up all the loot and brings it to her.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can see that.
And then she can just pick it off the ground or something.
They also mentioned that in the trailer here, she uses a sticky charge, which is probably another ability. Again, we just kind of have the loose pieces of this. There's
only like 3 abilities, which is what's crazy.
I'm just what the internet tells me.
I wonder how they're
data
all
mine abilities here.
Yeah.
She has
Because
4
generally
abilities.
every hero has an ultimate,
Yeah.
a passive and a
Hold
left bumper.
Oh, here we go. Categories of loot she can choose. Okay, so the Apex wiki actually has a bit more info. Reveal that type of loot in the area around you through walls. Categories of loot: armor, which includes armor, helmets, knockdown shields; health and shields, which includes health, shield items, and ult accelerants; attachments, which is attachments; backpacks, which is backpacks, and ammo and grenades.
Yeah, that makes sense. So not guns.
Not guns, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of all the info I have on it right there. But should drop this week. These are the data mined abilities. So these might have changed. By the time she comes out, some of these might be different or might be entirely different. They're adding a quest mode. I don't really know what that means. It says players will find a new game mode, quests, that will have the players hunting for treasure and answers each season. Those who complete the journey will be richly rewarded. Whatever that means. And there's also a new area of the map.
Sounds like maybe
Savage.
just a little something to do while you fight.
Yeah, I'm not really. It sounds like it might send you to different. It sounds like it might almost send you to different parts of the map to. I wonder if you like get story beats or something about the fiction they have between all the characters and things. And the new area of the map is called Salvage. Pardon me, not Savage. Salvage. In the newly formed bay, it says. So there might be a new body of water.
So I also, and I think these might be one and the same, is that they destroyed Skulltown.
No.
Or are at least planning on it.
Skulltown.
So, yeah. So maybe Skulltown's kind of near the coast.
So where it was, maybe it
there
sort
is
of
something.
formed
Yeah, the physics of that don't actually. The geography of that I don't think actually works because there is a like the stunt course that what's his name Octane has is between the sea and Skulltown. So I'm not sure.
We'll find out.
A bay needs to be connected to the ocean, right? By definition.
Well, a body of water. It could come off a river, I think, or something, maybe, right?
Okay. But it can't just be a bunch of water in...
I think
can't
that's
be a lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a peninsula, but of water.
Right.
Where are we on the news here? Let's talk about this N64... this is Mario 64 PC port.
Okay.
Tell me all about it.
There's
a PC port of Mario 64, we say?
Yes. So apparently there's a very well done Mario 64 PC port out there that you can, I think, still find by just giving a cursory look around Reddit or whatnot. It is a port that runs natively at 4K, and you even can apparently get some graphic mods that support stuff like ray tracing effects, and seems like it's the whole fucking kit and caboodle.
I'm gonna play this on my new TV. I bought my new TV just to play this PC port.
Right. But Nintendo has already, as is very Nintendo, begun filing their copyright claims, taking action against web sites that are posting this and hosting this, and just going around trying to knock out all the leaks or all the links. So
yeah, it's very on brand for Nintendo.
They on it.
Why Nintendo?
I mean, it's so easy to find an emulator online and download an emulated copy of the game. Like, why do they care so much about this PC port? And
they don't crack down
on.
It gets into the weeds a little bit too, because I believe that this port is because of a larger Nintendo leak that happened. That I remember there was like Pokemon Blue code leaked and Pokemon Yellow source code got leaked,
and like the
and I think because
okay.
But I think these are totally. I think this PC port has been around. That leak just happened like last week. That leak was. I can get you the exact date.
All right, yeah, maybe you're getting
Saturday.
your information from somewhere else as me though.
Yeah.
So, who's to say? I was under the impression that was why this was a problem, was because this was reverse engineered from that stolen code, which is why they were being so stingy about it as opposed to a regular emulator. But who's to say?
Yeah, it could, and maybe just the news got out in the wrong order, because they all sort of did happen the first week of May, which is actually highly suspicious.
I'll take your word for it.
I mean, I'm just reading the stories on Polygon. I am probably about as well informed as anybody. Why though, Nintendo? Why? Like I know why. Obviously, it's worth IP worth money. They're protecting their business, yada yada yada. But like,
especially when this game is coming out as one of their big tentpole releases soon.
and it's not like I can. It's not like it's not stopping me from buying your version of Mario 64 on PC, Nintendo. Like, and like Kevin says, there are not 1,000, but there are a lot of really good emulators out there. N64 emulation is really good. Like, and they do try to crack down on that from time to time, but that's kind of a sucker's game because it's so everywhere, prolific and hard to track down. But like, why? Same thing with.
But I mean,
it's like when
why,
Atlas
right?
tries
Like,
to stop you fucking broadcasting their don't stream our games. Like, why? What is the actual business? Draw me the A to B to C to D. How does this make the company more money?
They are allegedly going to be selling us Mario 64 as part of this big package.
Which big package, though? What? There's
The
like
one that
on
they
PC?
said the Mario package that they're working on with Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, Mario Sunshine.
On the Switch.
Like, right. Which, if you can get it on the PC, you are less inclined to get it on the Switch. That would be the business reason.
I guess. And that is the business reason, which on paper makes sense. In real life, does it really? And they're like this
it
with
totally
everything, right?
makes sense. I want to be able to play that old ass game for free, but it 100% makes sense that they would be like, on a year that we're actually releasing this game, maybe we don't let people play free versions of this game.
Sure. Nintendo does this with remember it was like a year ago when they sued that ROM site. Like they do this every so often.
This is a very Nintendo-like solution.
Yes, they're very precious with their IP. And honestly, I think they're afraid of the PC. I think the old Japanese businessmen that run Nintendo are literally afraid of the PC. Afraid of computers and the internet.
I don't even know why.
Part of this leak, did you see the slides about there's PowerPoints and things? Did you see the slides about why the friend codes are the friend codes and not usernames? Let me find that. Holy shit. Let's see, Nintendo leak friend codes. Yeah, here we go. Man, where are they? Okay, so it's a 12-digit numeric code. The leaked PowerPoint. No, it's a screen names. Screen names would be a problem. Here's all the reasons why screen names are a problem and why we had to do very simple 12-digit numeric codes. All right. Problem number 1. There is a high probability of duplicate screen names. And that is a problem that we have not solved anywhere in the world. You're right, Nintendo. No. We better go to 12-digit numbers. Problem number 2. Guessing someone's screen name by trying different variations of their actual name is apparently against the comfortable principle that Nintendo has regarding online play. The company wants it so the user always has the option of playing only with friends.
And from someone who hates the way Xbox does it as much as you do, that's a great reason to do it like this.
And then the real, coup de grace, the creme de la creme here, the cherry on the very top, is users might be upset if their username is taken. So we better, again, that's a problem we've never figured out. We better just give them a 12-digit number. You're a number, you can't be mad at that. And that's apparently how the folks who made the Wii think about the people who use the internet. I mean, it speaks to who they, I think, assumed their target audience would primarily be. Kids under the age of 4, maybe? I don't know. Kids very, 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 very young.
Split the difference. They should have been like, hey, what's your preferred username? And I would have been like, oh, I want to be...
Loves to spooge.
Loves to spooge.
Yeah.
And they're like, great, your loves to spooge 16. You have no choice. But we got 15 before you.
No, fuck that. I'm love to spooge. I'm going to take my Nintendo Switch, or my Wii, I guess at this point, that I just bought. I'm going to fucking smash it. I'm going to throw it off the balcony because I have a 16 at the end of my fucking... Fuck this. Nintendo, grow up.
And now, Nintendo, please give me a new console because this one is defective.
Yes, my Joy-Con is drifting.
Unreal, some of this shit. You should go look up that leak for yourself. A lot of really interesting stuff came out of that. What else we got here in the old newski? A little Jedi Fallen Order update, huh?
Yes. Jedi Fallen Order received an update on May the 4th, everyone's favorite Star Wars day. That includes, and I did not know this until I looked up this story today, a new game plus mode, which is called New Journey Plus. Awful eye rolly. Which is strictly cosmetic carryover.
Yes,
so
the
if you got
best
all the
part of
ponchos,
the game.
if you got all the ponchos, you can bring the ponchos over, but your abilities aren't going over because it would break the game, which does make sense. But at that point, why have a new game plus? I don't want to play that game again with just bringing my ponchos over. And apparently, they'll give you a red lightsaber and an Inquisitor outfit.
Yeah.
You guys
I think that game would be
that worth it to
kind
you?
of cool.
No,
to,
the cosmetics
to
are
play from the
fucking
beginning
useless in that.
with all your force powers.
Yeah, new game plus
I also
would be cool.
didn't read.
Yeah,
I didn't read anything about the new game plus being any more difficult.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't really make sense. They would you would just put a harder difficulty
because they're
in the
taking
game
away your
probably
powers,
at that
right?
point. Yeah, it wouldn't
Right.
really make sense for that.
That makes me far less excited to play that.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be worked in such a way where I had all my new abilities fully upgraded, and they were just going to jack up the difficulty, like a normal person's new game journey.
New Journey Plus, or
New game plus journey plus. Also adds wave-based combat, the little meditation points.
Yeah.
You can go there and do some wave-based combat. Also
Whoa.
interesting, you can make your own combat simulations
okay,
by picking a environment, picking a size, small, medium, or large, and allocating a bunch of points that they give you into a bunch of different enemy types. And each enemy type requires a certain amount of points. So you can do like a whole bunch of little enemies or a few big enemies or mix and match. And you can play that.
that's actually pretty cool.
That actually sounds. Yeah, that does sound kind of fun.
Yeah,
Better than New Journey Plus.
Again,
called the
Jedi
Battle Grid.
Fallen Order was another one that I did not really enjoy the combat in, though. So I don't think I'll dip back in for too much of that.
Yes. I have more news. Not about Fallen Jedi or New Game Journey.
Some might say
Animal
Tom Nook
Crossing New
is
Horizons.
the most fallen Jedi.
That's true. And maybe the richest now. The sales numbers are fucking ridiculous. It has sold over 13 million copies, roughly half digital, which is a crazy high percentage of a game for Nintendo because no games fit on their internal storage. It is already the 6th most sold Switch game of all time. I have the life here. It is Pokemon.
How long has this been out for? Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Not that long, eh?
Came out March the 20th, so like 5 weeks.
A little over a month, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hang on, I got the other 5 games. I know it's Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, those are my 2 guesses. Never mind.
Oh,
Mario,
okay.
Zelda, Pokemon, Fire Emblem, and the last one's probably gonna be hard. Luigi's Mansion.
Mario v. Rabbids.
I think that's
not
right.
a terrible guess.
I have no idea.
Onrush.
Doesn't really matter. Oh, here we go. Nope, I have no idea.
Okay.
You can Google the top 5 if you want, but we gave you 3 of them. I'm 100% on Breath of the Wild,
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Odyssey. Oh yes, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That was number 1.
Starting at the top, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's kind of crazy to me. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is like just a re-release of Mario Kart 8, but is still the top selling by a huge margin. Super Smash Bros. I forgot Super Smash Bros. Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey, Pokemon Sword and Shield, followed by Let's Go Pikachu.
They just passed Let's Go Pikachu.
But not Let's Go Eevee? offensive.
Who's gonna buy? Come on, in the scheme of the world, who the fuck is gonna pick Let's Go Eevee over P? So it says Let's Go Pikachu / Eevee, so maybe it includes both
That's
together
probably
or
both.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I also put that there's been over 50 million Switches sold now. So,
Damn, people like that Animal Crossing.
yeah.
Speaking
COVID
of Animal
obviously
Crossing,
plays a big part
Speaking of
that.
Animal Crossing, so Animal Crossing has apparently taken a kind of step into mainstream here. NFL
Yep.
football team, the Detroit Lions, announced their full 2020 schedule via an Animal Crossing
What?
video.
No.
So some
Evan,
dude named
you're implying that
What?
Animal Crossing may not at this point be more mainstream than NFL football. Maybe NFL football is taking a step into the mainstream of Animal Crossing.
Because of current world situations, everyone loves Animal Crossing apparently, as Brando just told us with how much it sold. But yeah, the Detroit Lions announced their full schedule in game. Some dude named Tom Nook made the announcement.
Some dude named Tom Nook made the announcement.
Commissioner Nook.
I'm watching it right now. Hang on, I gotta see. Does he like
teddy bear?
Does he speak? Like just in text? And Tom's like, like speaking his normal.
Yeah, no, exactly how it normally is. So yeah, I watched the whole thing. It's 7 minutes, almost 7 minutes long.
Yeah. He just got tickets to the the Washington Redskins game from Blathers.
He did not like that. Yeah, don't go to the Redskins game.
He said, "Dare I say you?" as he tried to give. What is happening in this video?
So it breaks down week by week. So I'm sure this is an in-game thing where it tells you what week you're on in the game or something like that. But it tells you it's week 1. It shows the Detroit Lions Animal Crossing character walking up to a giant stuffed teddy bear, which he digs a hole in the ground and then throws the teddy bear into the hole and buries it. And then it shows week 1 Detroit Lions play the Chicago Bears. And then it goes week 2, week 3, week 4.
Okay.
That's pretty funny.
What in the scheme of NFL? What is Tannehill? Is that a team?
Tannehill is a quarterback.
Player.
Okay, great. Yes. Week 15. I'm just gonna describe. I've been jumping all this video. I'm just gonna describe. There's Animal Crossing village like player walks up to this is Fuchsia, who is a pink looks like a horse maybe or something. Very very like hot pink horse. He talks to him. She says, "Hey, Precious, want to hear a great joke that Rory just told me?" He says, "He is sure, not really." Chooses sure. She says, "Why did the mountain get sunburned?" He presses A to advance. "Because you can't Tannehill." Week 16 appears. A new scene opens. What is happening?
That's pretty good.
What is happening?
Good.
Is this legal?
I don't know. Like, not knowing anything about Animal Crossing, I don't know if this is something that you could easily recreate in game, or if you needed all of the people over at Animal Crossing HQ to be on board and like produce this video for you.
He found a message in a bottle that says, "To whom it may concern, Hulu doesn't have live sports. Signed, Tom." What?
Good God. You're going after Hulu now?
There's one where I guess the player walks up to the community message board is what it must be. And there's somebody on there who has a New Orleans Saints logo on their little message, and this person just takes it down and crosses it out with a big X in it. And then it goes week 3 playing New Orleans Saints and various other very, very corny, but very, very, I would assume to be very on-brand Animal Crossing type humor that they just play on very, very well for this entire video.
In a world where Nintendo has taken down that Mario 64 PC port, I can't wrap my head around this. This is like Tom Nook is saying these words. It looks like Tom Nook is speaking the words. This concludes the Lions 2020 schedule reveal video.
Yeah. It's a super cool little 7-minute video if anybody wants to check it out. I'm not a Detroit Lions fan in any way, but I thought that video was absolutely awesome.
Slowly starting to become
got us all a little closer. Yeah.
That's right.
Wow, that is fascinating.
Hell of a story. Why do we even
Yeah.
do the rest of the news?
That's a good little slice of. I mean, we had the Gretzky story last week. See, this is the beauty of everybody pulling news stories. We get to go all over the wild world of video games. Podcast at talkingreckless.com is the email address. You want to write in here and join us on the show, or you can drop these on our subreddit r/talkingreckless, or you can try and figure out how to leave voicemails on our Discord. Nobody's been brave enough yet, you cowards. It is possible. It's happened
smart enough.
before. Yeah, or smart enough. I didn't want to say it, but yeah, it was assumed. Let's see. Herm writes in and says, hello, gents. Haven't wrote in a while. Like the rest of us, I've been in quarantine and feel like I'm losing my mind. But I've had the stream, the VODs, podcast playing almost constantly throughout this entire thing. So thank you for being a light in the darkness, he says. My question is, has any of you made any changes to your routine to stave off isolation-based insanity? For example, I always save my dishes from dinner for the morning so that I can feel like I'm doing something productive every morning. Any advice or suggestions for those of us who feel like this quarantine is taking a toll? Love from Texas. Herm.
I've been trying to break apart my workday a little bit more since I'm staying at home. So I obviously don't have to get up super early to drive to work or get ready to go to work. I don't have to go to bed super early because I can spend that extra time in the morning sleeping. So I've been trying to be productive during like my lunch break and stuff. So if I have chores to do for the day, I'll try to do it during my lunch break at work or during my 15-minute breaks at work. So I can feel like I'm getting paid for doing my at-home chores.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So that's one of the ways I'm getting about staving off the insanity. I'm happy that I got the Spotify Premium because I've been listening to a shit ton of Spotify to avoid going insane. And the commercials, I mean, I'm fine with commercials, but getting them as you change songs, because usually what happens with the free Spotify is if you go to an entirely new artist, you'll get hit with the ad right at the beginning as soon as you switch. And I tend to jump around a lot with what I listen to, so.
What about you, Brandon?
I love me some Spotify Premium.
I mean, your routine is probably more or less
unchanged.
Or less the same, yeah.
I don't, obviously I'm not going out after work anymore, but I still go out for work. Yeah, I haven't had to change a whole lot. I'm trying to, like, when I'm home, I'll either play video games with everyone, which it's truly never been a better time to be a gamer.
Yeah.
Because it has really helped bridge the social gap, which I think is the hardest part for a lot of people, is
that
like
big,
having to sit down and organize these Zoom calls that they wouldn't normally do. It comes very natural to us.
That big Xbox call that we usually find ourselves in the evenings, where it's just like 5 of us, not even playing the same games usually, or just shooting the shit in there, has been a godsend in these troubling times.
Yeah. And then I try and, just to kind of break up the monotony, I try and watch, like, there's just thousands of movies that are well regarded that I've never seen before. So I'm trying to watch a new movie every night or something. I was very bummed when obviously the theaters closed and everything, as someone who likes to go see movies. So I was like, well, this sucks. Now I'm not going to see any new movies. And I'm like, oh, there's so many goddamn movies that I've never seen and probably was never going to see because I was always watching new movies that come out. But, like, I had never seen Jaws in my life. I had never seen.
You've seen it now?
Like, there's
What'd you think?
Like, there's some big ones. Oh, it's great. Fucking holds up.
Jaws 1 is so good.
Jaws 1 is so good.
You got bigger boats. You got a smile, you son of a.
Yeah, smile, you son of a bitch. So good. It's really good. Yeah, it's fantastic. And, like, tons of movies like that. Like, I'm going back and watching, like, big classics. I'd never seen the second Godfather movie. Like, yeah, anything I can find where it's like everyone has seen this, except for
Citizen Kane.
I need to watch it. I never watched Citizen Kane.
You haven't watched it
and
yet.
I might never. Yeah. There are movies that are like Jaws and Godfather Part 2 is about as old as I'm getting. I'm watching a lot of stuff from the 90s, like action movies like The Fugitive.
What about Terminator 1? You ever see Terminator 1 and 2?
Terminator 1 I've seen a lot of times. Terminator 2 I've seen a few times.
Can I interest you in the entire back catalog of Pauly Shore?
You can't. No.
He's got some great films.
I had only seen the first Indiana Jones film.
Hmm.
So I was watching the second and third. I guess there's some bad ones
But
after
not the
that too.
fourth?
Yeah.
Wait, bad? Did they make a fourth and a fifth? They never made a fifth,
They
did
definitely
they?
made a fourth. I don't know if they made a fifth.
I'm pretty sure they're
Crystal
currently
Skull.
making a fifth one right now.
Yeah. Now that you say that, actually, that totally sounds correct. For me, it's been showers. I got to shower every morning, or else I feel like I'm just before the lockdown. I mean, listen, I work from home. Just between you and me, if I didn't shower for a day, it's not the biggest deal. It's not the biggest deal. If I didn't shower for 2 days, it got pretty bad because then my hair started to grow pretty long and I had to go shave my head. So like 2 days was like, oof, just I can't do this. But one day here and there, that was the best of us. Now I got to shower every day. I got to get up. The first thing I have to do, I have to get up and I have to shower, or else I don't know. I just can't get into the work mode. And then sometimes I'll go and get really sweaty and have another shower. But I have to shower the second I wake up. I have to. Otherwise, I didn't do it for a few days and it just didn't. It feels like I'm in prison if I don't shower.
Showers are great.
I need to escape them.
My favorite 10 minutes of the day are the 10 minutes between when I get out of the shower in the morning and lay back in my bed for 10 minutes before I start getting dressed. And oh my God, do I love it. Just being dried off, but still a little damp, just cocooned in my blanket.
My routine, though, more or less unchanged. It's, I don't know. It just feels different. It feels way different. Mentally, even though nothing has kind of changed, it feels... I feel like I can't go outside, which sucks, even though I probably could. Like, I haven't ridden my bike at all, I walked to the beer store today in the supermarket, and that went terribly, so I'm not gonna even go outside anymore. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Some days it takes you differently, and unfortunately this was kind of a rough day. But showers, gotta have showers. I shower a lot now. I don't pay for water. It's beautiful. Also, like, I shower late because if I try to shower before noon, there's no hot water in this fucking apartment, which is really good. Sometimes I get halfway through shaving my head because I shave in the shower. It's very easy to clean up, just wash it all down the drain. I'll get halfway through shaving my head and the hot water just runs out. And it's not like it gets colder. It was like, I can sense it's coming. It just turns off. And it's like, and like I usually scream and like slam my hand into the wall of the tub, and the people downstairs are like, what the fuck is happening?
I don't care. They know exactly what's happening
because I'm super pissed because I got no more hot water.
Yeah, they've been in that situation before.
Yeah, it's interesting times. Any other quarantine changes or anything that anybody wants to bring up here?
Nothing else I can think of, no.
Alrighty.
Go see the sun for a little walk.
Go see the
around
sun.
Your place.
Yeah, you need some more vitamin D. I did get outside a bit today, which was nice. Well, that's gonna do it for the show here. If actually, I got a couple things to say before we sign off here. If you have Amazon Prime, that means you have a free Twitch Prime sub. They do not renew automatically, so this is your reminder. If you're one of the folks who gives us your Prime sub, thank you very much, first of all, for your generosity using your Prime sub over on twitch.tv/TalkingRecklessPodcast. And this is your reminder to re-up that sub. Make sure you get your 2 sweets and your Solaire from Dark Souls stabbing emotes and whatever. We have a movie night on the Discord that we're voting for this month, so we're gonna kind of vote on. I got a bunch of different movies here. I'll even read them off to you. You can decide which ones we're gonna watch on the movie night this month. The choices are, and I just picked these. Some of these are movies I haven't seen. Some of these are movies I have seen and love. Like I just kind of very quickly picked some of these, so it's eclectic, the selection. 1917, haven't seen it, but I've heard good things. It's a sad war movie. Into the Spider-Verse, Detective Pikachu.
Ooh.
Hot Fuzz, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Parasite are your choices for this month. You can vote on our Discord in the Movie Night channel. You can vote as many times as you want, but we're going to take the top 2, so factor that into how you're voting right now. Sonic and Hot Fuzz are out in front. I've never seen Sonic and would very much like to. But anything could change. We got the whole month, a lot of May left, so get in there on the Discord and vote for that. To find the Discord, just go to talkingreckless.com, click on the Discord link. You can find all of our stuff over there, the podcast, the videos. Our Westworld podcast is finished. It's up now on this very feed called Westworld FM, our Dragon Ball Z podcast, which was super fun, and I can't wait for Andy to watch more Dragon Ball Z so we can keep talking about it. It's called Super Saiyan Pod Super Saiyan is up now. And as always, if you enjoy this madness, you want to help support the show, toss us a couple dollars, head on over to patreon.com/talkingrecklesspodcast. And thank you very much to everybody who has been able to sign up and everybody's been able to keep their patronage up throughout these unprecedented times, these capital U, capital T's that we find ourselves in. So what all I got to say? Any closing thoughts here, gentlemen, before we sign off for another week? Back to the video game minds?
God, no. Fuck no.
Oh, the only thought I'm having is finishing Final Fantasy VII.
Yes. Oh, shit. I can't wait to talk about that. Text me when you finish. We'll have some chats. To you at home, well, I guess actually to Kev before we say things. Kevin Byer, thank you very much, as always, for making the time.
Thank you.
Brandon Lynch, thank you so much for being here, for keeping our good friend Fat Chocobo company throughout this. I saw a couple like shocked looks over to Fat Chocobo. And to you at home, thanks so much for listening or watching. We'll see you here next week. It'll be the next edition of the Talking Reckless podcast. We'll see you then.